9 signs that the consumer of the United States is about to break. This is by Michael Snyder. U.S. consumer, he says, is about to break. When the U.S. consumer is in healthy financial shape, the outlook for the U.S. economy is generally positive, but just like we witnessed prior to the Great Recession of 2008 and 2009, when the U.S. consumer is not in healthy financial shape, bad things tend to happen. Unfortunately, the numbers are telling us that current conditions are eerily similar to what we experienced during the run-up of the Great Recession. Households do not have enough money coming in, debt levels are soaring, delinquency rates are rising, and tens of millions of us are just barely scraping by from month to month. The following are 9 signs that the U.S. consumer is about to break. Number 1. After adjusting for inflation and taxes, household income in the United States has fallen 9.1% since April 2020. On the inflation issue, household income adjusted for inflation and taxes is running some 9.1% below where it was in April 2020, putting additional pressure on consumers, according to SMB Nikko Securities. Number 2, credit card debt has surpassed the $1 trillion mark for the first time ever, as struggling American households increasingly turn to credit cards to get by from month to month. Americans increasingly turn to their credit cards to make ends meet, heading into the summer, sending aggregate balances over $1 trillion for the first time ever, the New York Federal Reserve reported on Tuesday. Total credit card indebtedness rose by $45 billion in April through June period, an increase of more than 4%. That took the total amount owed to $1.03 trillion, the highest gross value in Fed data going back to 2003. Number 3, the average rate of interest on credit card balances is over 20%, and that is financially crippling millions of our fellow citizens. The average credit card charges a near record 20.53% interest rate, according to Bankrate. Number 4, credit card delinquency rates are hitting levels that we have not seen in more than a decade. The Fed's measure of credit card debt 30 or more days late climbed to 7.2% in the second quarter, up from 6.5% in quarter 1, and the highest rate since the first quarter of 2012. Though close to the long-run normal, central bank officials said total debt delinquency edged higher to 3.18% from 3%. Number 5, the number of Americans that are making emergency withdrawals from their 401k plans is absolutely surging. More Americans are tapping their 401k accounts because of financial distress, according to Bank of America data released on Tuesday. The number of people who made a hardship withdrawal during the second quarter surged from the first 3 months of the year to 15,950, an increase of 36% from the second quarter of 2022, according to Bank of America's analysis of clients' employee benefit programs, which are comprised of more than 4 million plan participants. Number 6, over the past year, it has become much more expensive to purchase a home. Elevated mortgage rates and sales prices means owning a home is about 20% more expensive than it was last year. The typical U.S. home buyer's monthly mortgage payment was $2,605 during the 4 weeks ending July 30th, down $32 from July's record high, but up 19% from a year prior, according to a Friday report from real estate listing company Redfin. Number 7, the nationwide average rent-to-income ratio has been over 30% for the past 2 years. This is the first time in U.S. history that this has ever happened. Number 8, it is being reported that vehicle repair costs have gone up by almost 20% over the past year. Car repair costs are up almost 20% in the past year, according to the Consumer Price Index, more than 6 times the national inflation rate, and among the largest annual price increases of any household goods or services. So what's driving up the prices? It's a combination of factors, experts say. Some emerged in the pandemic era, while others are long-term trends in the auto market, they said. Number 9, a whopping 69% of all U.S. consumers that live in urban areas are currently living paycheck to paycheck. 69% of consumers in urban areas live paycheck to paycheck, which is 25% more than their suburban counterparts, 55% of which live paycheck to paycheck. Additionally, 63% of rural consumers reported living paycheck to paycheck. These regional concentrations of paycheck to paycheck consumers could be attributed to the high percentage of millennials living in urban areas, 48%, as well as the large share of baby boomers and seniors, many of whom are retired and living on a fixed income, living in rural areas, 32%. After seeing all those numbers, is there anyone out there that still wishes to argue that the average U.S. consumer is in good shape? The truth is that economic conditions are rough, and they are deteriorating a little bit more with each passing day. On Tuesday, Moody's decided to downgrade ratings for 10 different U.S. banks, and they are warning that more downgrades may be coming. U.S. bank stocks declined after Moody's Investor Service lowered its ratings for 10 small and mid-sized lenders and said it may downgrade major firms including U.S. Bancorp, Bank of York Mellon Corp, State Street Corp, and Truist Financial Corporation. Higher funding costs, potential regulatory capital weaknesses, and rising risks tied to commercial real estate are among strains prompting the review, Moody's said late on Monday. And Tyson Foods has just announced that it will be shutting down 4 more chicken plants. Chicken prices are down. That's good news for chicken eaters, of course, but bad news for Tyson Foods. The meat processor, which supplies about a fifth of beef, pork, and chicken to the United States, said Monday that it is shutting down 4 chicken plants, 2 in Missouri, 1 in Indiana, and 1 in Arkansas, following declining chicken revenue. The Arkansas-based company previously announced 2 separate closures in the spring. But despite everything that's already happened, Fed officials are telling us that multiple rate hikes may still be necessary. Is this some kind of a sick joke? The historic economic meltdown that we have long been warned about is unfolding right in front of our eyes, and they want to rise rates even higher. Either they're extremely incompetent or they are doing this to us on purpose. In any event, much rougher times for the economy are on the horizon, and that's really bad news for the U.S. consumer. This is by Michael Snyder. He says about the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled End Times is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so that you won't miss any of my articles. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the most important news, and the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my own articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you've not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. And this is on the Economic Collapse blog by Michael Snyder. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.